I'm sure you receive criticism for the work you do. Like even in our case, like when we report on certain cases, like I remember the report that we filed on Max Londoño, there are comments that were saying that the ones that are targeted are or they have criminal or immigration cases in the first place. So why bother defending them? Like we get a bunch of comments that say just follow the law. So, how do you respond to such remarks?
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation, I'd say, going around. What's happening now isn't happenstance. No, there are systems at play, like these detention centers that profit, per bed per night from people being detained in these cramped conditions, who are almost running the show, and who are benefiting from such a cruel system, and who benefit from narratives that try to divide our community. Unfortunately, this also includes officials like Jose Romualdez. I mentioned some of the things he'd said already, and what was very disappointing was that when President Ferdinand Marcos, he had a state visit here to Washington D.C. He kind of just parroted a lot of the lines that those are just criminals or illegals who are in detention, and meanwhile, he's, instead of meeting with those who are really in distress, he's negotiating what some are calling very bad trade deals, securing more military aid for the Philippines. And so I digress, but it's those officials who are benefiting from narratives that divide our community. But going back to your original question, in the first place, no one should have to face the inhumane conditions that migrants like Auntie Lynn, Kuya Max, Kuya Dante face in these detention centers. They were unjustly taken from their families. Some were held inside airports for days, sleeping on the floors, no access to regular food, only to be taken to overcrowded detention centers, put in solitary confinement, basically, without access to edible food, without access to medication that literally their life depends on it, blood pressure medication, kidney medication, and so on. So no one should have to face those inhumane condition centers. Second, it's not true what some of the rhetoric is saying, or some of the media is saying, that it's only criminals who are being targeted. And you mentioned that before. It's like assuming someone is guilty rather than assuming they're innocent until they're proven guilty. So again, the recent examples of cruise ship workers, we're even hearing of Filipinas who are being accused of domestic violence, which are so far unfounded, who might actually be in abusive relationships themselves with their husbands. And so there are a lot of different ways where the current system is set up to disadvantage those most vulnerable in our communities. So we can't believe all the rhetoric that are just saying that, it's just criminals, just quote unquote illegals or undocumented people who are being attacked. And then, at the end of the day, if you talk with the people that we have worked with, kahit nagkamali sila sometimes in their life, or one time in their life, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve dignity. It doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be with their loved ones. And it doesn't mean that they should be treated as less than human. So that's what I'd say to those who are, maybe believing some of those things, to take a deeper look, and maybe for many folks, they might not think it could happen to their loved ones, but this is really an issue facing our entire community. So let's also take care of each other and understand where each other are coming from. There's a lot of stories behind the people that we're fighting alongside. It's important for us to understand that and not judge, so that we can be there to defend the most vulnerable in our communities.